Good morning again. Oh, sorry. Well, I shouldn't apologize. I love talking about this stuff. And I mean, that first page went by so fast. I looked at the time. It it went by so quickly that the video was only 20 minutes. So, um, we're gonna do page 4 of page 5. We might even just finish it off. We might do page 4 and 5. So let's get back into it because I love talking about this stuff. It's awesome. Okay, suffering is always the effect of wrong thought in some direction. It is an indication that the individual is out of harmony with himself, with the law of his being. The sole and supreme use of suffering is to purify, to burn out all that is useless and impure. Suffering ceases for him who is pure. There could be no object in burning gold after the dross has been removed, and a perfectly pure and enlightened being could not suffer. So, if you notice you're going through some stuff, and it's not good stuff, and you're experiencing whatever it may be, revert back to your thoughts, and you're going to hear a lot of that because this is all repetition, and you have to do it religiously. I mean, I'm not religious by any means, but when it comes to taking control of my life, yeah, that's it. I will be religious. I will religiously take control of my life because there's nobody else. Right? There's nobody else. So the object of suffering is to bring to your attention something is off with you. Your mind and your heart aren't. They're out of harmony. And I've used this a lot, and I don't know how. I don't know what anybody else thinks of this, but have you ever found yourself having a conversation with yourself? Like, have you ever sat there and all of a sudden you start talking like, "Hey, man, what the heck you doing?" Or talking about this, and I need to accomplish that. Well, to me, I've come to the realization is that that's your heart talking to you. And whether you want to believe that or not, that's your choice. But I've recalled and went back many times where I've had brief conversations with myself, and it's made me realize maybe a wrong that I am doing, or something that needs to change or improve, or something that I deserve. And it's my heart telling me, saying, "Hey, man, you deserve more. You deserve this, right?" And yeah, so maybe think about if you've ever had those type of conversations with yourself, and maybe you'll link it like I did. So suffering is to purify, to burn out all that is useless and impure. So pay attention if you're going through some stuff and you're not feeling well, or you're in a rut, as some people call it. There's probably a reason why. So focus your attention on your thoughts. Okay, next one. The circumstances which a man encounters with suffering are the result of his own mental inharmony. The circumstances which a man encounters with blessedness are the result of his own mental harmony. Blessedness, not material possessions, is the measure of right thought. Wretchedness, not the lack of material possessions, is the measure of wrong thought. A man may be cursed and rich, he may be blessed and poor. Blessedness and riches are only joined together when the riches are rightly and wisely used, and the poor man only descends into wretchedness when he regards his lot as a burden unjustly imposed. Okay, so I've thought about this a few times. There's one paragraph in another book that I'm reading that I will break down. It's called The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. And it's stated in there that one of the pitfalls of the law of assumption is that, you think instantly like material possessions and being rich and bigger bank accounts and all that type of stuff. And I pondered on that paragraph for a while. I slept on it. I was like, what does he mean? So then I woke up the next morning. I woke up at 3:30, and what I'll do is I'll go downstairs and I'll look at my vision board and go through all my motions that I do every morning. And I found myself, I was laying on the ground, and then it came to me. They use righteousness in the other book. They use blessedness in this. The main gift of that book, or of this book, or whatever you achieve, it's the gift of becoming aware of you controlling your life. That's the gift. That's blessedness. That's righteousness. The work that you're doing on the inside is what's amazing. And the material possessions are just a bonus of what you can achieve. And, I thought about that quite a while, because I'm like, well, I want to acquire wealth. I am wealth. And, if you think that you can just change your thoughts just for an instant and acquire wealth, and then go back to thinking the way you used to think, well, that wealth isn't going to last. It's going to, it's going to fade away. It's going to fade away, because the true gift is the gift of what you're doing on the inside. You're changing yourself for the better. You're thinking, you're in control of your life. I am in control of my life. I control what I want to think. I want to help people. I want people to realize this. And I am going to do this. I am doing this every day. When Monday to Thursday, I'm doing this. I will make videos, and we're making really good progress, right? And I'm almost done breaking this down myself. And, we'll get through this book, and then I'll do another book. If you have a book that you want me to break down and read, suggest it. I'll read it. I already had a friend. He suggested a book, and I already ordered it, and it's going to be here next week. And then while I was going through that, I saw another book. So now I'm reading all these books. And, I'm not just reading them, I'm digesting them. I'm figuring out, I'm doing this, breaking it down so that I can understand it, so I can explain it better to people that, you know what, I'm not even going to say that, because I don't need to say it. So, material possessions is not the measure of right thought. Thinking that you want to be rich and you want lots of money, that's not, no. It has to be from here, right? Because when I came to this realization, the first thing I said was, how come more people don't know about this? How can I? And then I started thinking, I need to tell people about this. I need to. And when it comes from, just even talking about it and going and applying it, I apply it every day, all day. I applied this stuff all day. I am fully aware of what I'm thinking. I am fully aware. I am in control. I am conscious. And I am directing my thoughts to the best life for me and my family. And not just my family, Susie's family. I have friends. I have, there's people I want to help. I want to help a lot of people. I want to help the world. I want to help the world. And I've said that a lot. I've told myself many times, like, we are better than this. We as a human species are better than this. We need to quit being so petty over things that we don't even need to be petty about. Like if somebody steals your parking spot at a shopping center, what are you going to do? You're going to get all mad for what? For what? Right? It's just that. And it's because we've been conditioned, keep watching the news. You know what I mean? Like, but that's another discussion there. Maybe I'll just do a video where it's just free thoughts, and hopefully people will join in. Anyways, let's continue on. So yeah, blessedness, not material possessions, is a measure of right thought. So be blessed that you have come to the conclusion that you are in control. There's no outside circumstances, and the material possessions that you want to acquire will follow, as long as that's what you want. And I've talked to one of the younger kids, my next door neighbor there. I've talked to them, and I could see, just by my talking, I could see and sense his energy of excitement. And then, he started applying the stuff that I was telling him. And then I talked to him a week later or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I got 4 job opportunities. They're going to take me right out of school. And one of them is in PG, where I want to go. And I told him, I'm like, you did that. You did that. Nobody else did that. It just doesn't happen. You did it. You did. By using this. Right? So, next one. Indigence and indulgence are the two extremes of wretchedness. They are both equally unnatural and a result of mental disorder. A man is not rightly conditioned until he is happy, healthy, and prosperous being. And happiness, health, and prosperity are the result of a harmonious adjustment of the inner with the outer of the man with his surroundings. And that just goes to what I just said. The adjustment on the inside that you made. The way you're going to treat every conversation differently. The way you're going to look at everybody differently, because you control your brain. So, for instance, like if you see somebody that doesn't like you, well, that's because you tell yourself that they don't like you. Does that make sense? Right? You don't know. You don't know. You're assuming that they don't like you. And I've made this mistake, and I have corrected it. And, I came in, I ended up having a conversation with this gentleman that, I assumed didn't like me. And there was nothing wrong. Full of compliments. And then I started talking to him about how I switched my thinking. And then, the conversation we had was on, it was genuinely, and mutual good feelings from both ends, right? And it was amazing. And you have the power to do that. You can change your relationships with somebody by starting fresh. Every day is a new day. Don't bring back past experiences. If you want to change a relationship with somebody, do it. Don't think, oh yeah, the last time I talked to this person, they got mad at me. Well, now you just put that into your brain, right? It's a new day. You're a new you, because you're in control. You control this, so you can control what the outcome of your life is, period. A man only begins to be a man when he ceases to whine and revel and commences to search for the hidden justice which regulates his life. Wow. That's a big one. Because I used to do that. And I said this in a video way back about when I worked at Kohler, I would complain all the time, and then I just switched it. And I have done that ever since. And that's what this is saying. A man only begins to be a man, or a woman. I talked about the whole whether you want to call it gender identity in this, whether it's man, just if you're a woman, I'm saying woman, okay? Just change it for you, the listener, okay? Whatever your gender may be, just change it for you, okay? A man only begins to be a man when he ceases to whine and revel and commences to search for the hidden justice which regulates his life. That's what I did when I came to this realization. And he adapts his mind to the regulating factor. He ceases to accuse others as the cause of his condition and builds himself up in the strong and noble thoughts, ceases to kick against circumstances, but begins to use them as aids to his more rapid progress and as a means of discovering the hidden powers and possibilities within himself. So don't fight against what circumstances you're in. Look towards the solution. And once you've touched the solution, forget about the problem. And everything will work out. For instance, I went to Canadian Tire, and I was with the kids, and I was learning about this. I was fairly new, and just after the books I've read and everything else. But I told the kids, I'm like, we're gonna go to Canadian Tire. We're gonna buy an Optima battery for Susie's car. So we go to Canadian Tire, and we're there, and I'm browsing around, and we looked for whiteboards, but they didn't have any whiteboards there, which is fine because there's other stores you can get it. And so then we go to the battery or the automotive section, and I see a guy, and he's like, "Oh, hey, how can I help you?" Really good guy, good energy, very helpful. So I told him the car and the year, and then he's like, "Oh, you know what, man? We don't have that size of battery for your car." So he's like, "I apologize for that." And I guess the rating of the batteries is a 3400 or a 35, and it just depends on size. So Susie's car took a 34, but he's like, "You know what? I got a 35 here, and it might fit." And I told him, I'm like, "It's probably the same size." So, because he went and got an original battery, not an Optima battery, but just a regular battery. He went and got the 34, and he put it up against the 35, and guess what? It was the same size. Now, here's the kicker. Everybody that's watching this, you're probably thinking, "Oh, you're lucky." No. Nope. I wanted a battery, an Optima battery for Susie's car from Canadian Tire. And guess what? We wanted more cold cranking amps than what her previous battery had. This had an extra 250 cold cranking amps for her car. So then what happened was I got home, I popped the hood on the car, and I go to put the battery in. Well, the posts are back farther and not forward. So they're back farther, and the positive and negative cables wouldn't reach. Okay, so now I'm just going to refer to me as the old me. I would have started getting mad. "Oh, great, I got to take the battery back. It doesn't fit. Blah, 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 blah. Whine and cry, whine and cry." Nope, I didn't do that. You know what I did? I took the battery out, and I looked for the solution, and I found it. All I had to do was pop a little zap strap thing that's attached to the frame of the car for the negative cable. Pop. Lots of slack, can reach the thing. I looked down. I could see it on the other side too, for the positive. And I went to the positive side. Okay, it's connected to the air box. I just disconnected it from the air box. It wasn't going to do anything. Disconnected it from the air box. Oh, the housing for it was wrapped really tight. There was like some tape or something. So I just cut the tape, and it allowed it to break free. And then I talked to my buddy Steve, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you can get these little pieces that it's like a connector. You just put it on here, and then you attach it to your post." And I was like, "Oh, sweet!" So I could just buy that off of the wall at Lordco. He said. So I'm like, "Okay," but I kept on working on it, and I got it to work. So the next day, Steve came back to see if I've gotten it to work. And guess what? He had two of the pieces, and one of them he said he could have gave me to use to get the battery to work, but I got it to work already. So there was two solutions already there, and I wouldn't even needed to go and spend any money because Steve had one for me. Boom, mind blown, right? It's amazing what you can do with the power of your mind. And you can think what you want to think about that story. That's your choice. But I did that. Me. I wanted that car battery to work, and it works. And it's fantastic. So there's another little story for you. I like telling stories. So yeah, quit your whining. Don't fight against the circumstances that you're in, because you're in those circumstances because you choose to be. And, you're probably thinking, well, why would anybody want to choose to be in a bad situation? Well, I don't know. What are they thinking? What are they thinking at the time? What are you thinking at the time when you're in a bad situation? Are you thinking good things? Anyways. So, and he adapts his mind to that regulating factor. He ceases to accuse others of the cause of his condition and builds himself up in strong and noble thoughts, ceases to kick against circumstances, but begins to use them as aids to his more rapid progress and as a means of discovering the hidden powers and possibilities within himself. Hidden powers and possibilities within yourself. I found them, and I'm using them every day. Law, not confusion, is the dominating principle in the universe. Justice, not injustice, is the soul and substance of life. Righteousness, not corruption, Righteousness, not corruption, is the molding and moving force in the spiritual government of the world. This being so, man has but to right himself to find that the universe is right. And during the process of putting himself right, he will find that as he alters his thoughts towards things and other people will alter towards him. So that's what I was talking about. If you have a relationship where things aren't going very well, what are you thinking about that relationship? You're probably thinking about, oh, we had a fight and blah, blah, blah. And then you're dwelling on the fight, and you're dwelling on the fight, and you're thinking about the fight, and you're calling your friends and talking about the fight, and then you're talking about the fight at work, and then you're talking about the fight on your phone, and then you're talking about the fight, and you're posting about the fight on Facebook, and then everybody's commenting on the fight on Facebook. Well, guess what you just did? You just gave that problem so much energy, it's not going to go away. And that's how it works. When you have a situation happen in your life that, and this is what we were, conditioned to do. Like when we have a problem, I got to call my mom and dad and tell them about the problem that I'm having. Well, no, you don't. No, you don't. Now what you're doing, if something happens in your life and you call and you tell a friend about your problem. I say experience now. I went through an experience. Now, it's good to talk it out, yes, granted. But if that person isn't mentally strong enough to realize that the experience is yours and they can help offer a solution and not give that problem any energy, then don't tell them. Because if they're just going to come in and join in and give that problem energy, you're just, no, you got to know who the people you can talk to that will help offer a solution, that will help get your mind and your thoughts in the right direction to solve that problem. That's why I say I'm solution based now. Like when it comes to problems, I what's the solution? That's it. What's the solution? I don't dwell on problems anymore. So yeah, don't give any, stay off of Facebook with your problems. Think of the solution and then let go of the problem. Let go. He will find that as he alters his thoughts towards things and other people, so altering your thoughts of how you see other people, how you see a relationship with other people, and whatever else, they will alter towards you as well. Okay, next one. The proof of this truth is in every person, and it therefore admits of easy investigation by systematic introspection and self-analysis. And I encourage all of you to do this. Investigate your life. Investigate the thoughts you were having at that time in your life. And keep doing it. Go back as far as you can remember and think about everything you were thinking about at those certain circumstances and issues and experiences that you went through, circumstances, whatever you want to call them. Think about it and then realize that you did it, and then assume responsibility and then change. That's what you got to do. Let a man radically alter his thoughts, and he will be astonished at the rapid transformation it will effect in the material conditions of his life. Men imagine that thought can be kept secret, but it cannot. It rapidly crystallizes into habit, and habit solidifies into circumstance. Bestial thoughts crystallize into habits of drunkenness and sensuality, which solidify into circumstances of destitution and disease. Impure thoughts of every kind crystallize into enervating and confusing habits, which solidify into distracting and adverse circumstances. Thoughts of fear and doubt and indecision crystallize into weak, unmanly, and irresolute habits, which solidify into circumstances of failure, indigence, and slavish dependence. Lazy thoughts crystallize into weak habits of uncleanliness and dishonesty, which solidify into habits of accusation and violence, which solidify into circumstances of injury and persecution. Selfish thoughts of all kinds crystallize into habits of self-seeking, which solidify into distressful circumstances. So I'm not really going to break that one down because it pretty much lays it out for you. And if you need to listen to it again, just rewind the video and play it back and read that again. And then, you know what, let's just finish. We'll do page 5 too. And then the next one is, on the other hand, beautiful thoughts of all kinds crystallize into habits of grace and kindliness, which solidify into genial and sunny circumstances. Pure thoughts crystallize into habits of temperance and self-control, which solidify into circumstances of repose and peace. Thoughts of courage, self-reliance, and decision crystallize into manly habits, which solidify into circumstances of success, plenty, and freedom. Energetic thoughts crystallize into habits of cleanliness and industry, which solidify into circumstance of pleasantness. Gentle and forgiving thoughts crystallize into habits of gentleness, which solidify into protective and preservative circumstances. Loving and unselfish thoughts, which solidify into circumstances of sure and abiding prosperity and true riches. So there you go. There's that one too. That's a good one. And, you know, that's why I encourage you guys to get the book, because then you can reread paragraphs over and over and over again. And I mean, with these videos, you can continue to go back and listen to me read it. And there's so much knowledge. You really do need to read each paragraph and break it down and try to figure out what they're trying to say and decipher it so that you can understand. Okay, next one. A particular train of thought persisted in, be it good or bad, cannot fail to produce its results on the character and circumstances. Character is you, and the circumstances are what you're going to experience. A man cannot directly choose his circumstances, but he can choose his thoughts, and so indirectly, yet surely, shape his circumstances. So there you go again. You cannot directly choose your circumstances, but you can choose your thoughts. And by choosing your thoughts, you're pretty much choosing your experiences or circumstances that you're going to have. So you can't choose what you want to experience, but you can choose what to think that will eventually bring the outcome of what you actually want to experience, if that makes any sense. Okay, next one. Nature helps every man to gratification of the thoughts which he most encourages, and opportunities are presented which will most speedily bring to the surface both the good and the evil thoughts. Nature helps every man to gratification of the thoughts which he most encourages, and opportunities are presented which will most speedily bring to the surface. So if you're thinking, if you're encouraging more good thoughts than bad, you're going to have opportunities presented to you that will bring to the surface the result of your encouraging good thoughts. Okay, last one, and then there's a little poem that I will read for you guys, and then we are done. Effects of thought on circumstances, and that's a good one. There's a lot there, so if you have to rewatch the videos and listen and decipher. And like I said, if you have any questions, message me directly on here. I will answer. I have no problem answering you guys, and I will do my best to help you figure this out, because I am figuring it out along the way. And what better way to figure things out when you talk and discuss and bounce ideas back and forth from somebody else, right? Because maybe someone else will understand a certain paragraph better than the next person, right? That's the beautiful thing about talking with people, right? We're all different, and it's amazing. There's so many amazing, you can say variety of people out there. It's beautiful, to be honest with you, how many of us there are, and we're all uniquely designed, but we're all conditioned the same due to our environment, which is crazy. Because if I was in a different family or a different country or whatever, I probably wouldn't be who I am, right? I would be conditioned towards that lifestyle of wherever I was, for instance, like if I was Japanese, right? And I love Japanese people. I love the culture. That's what's behind me, Japanese. Anyways, yeah, so make sure you're encouraging good thoughts, and opportunities will present themselves to get you to where you want to go, to what you want to achieve. Let a man cease from his sinful thoughts, and all the world will soften towards him and be ready to help him. Let him put away his weakly and sickly thoughts, and the opportunities will spring up on every hand to aid his strong resolves. Let him encourage good thoughts, and no hard fate shall bind him down to wretchedness and shame. The world is your kaleidoscope, and the varying combinations of colors which at every succeeding moment it presents to you are the exquisitely adjusted pictures of your ever-moving thoughts. And here's the poem. You will be what you will be. Let failure find its false content in that poor word environment, but spirit scorns it and is free. Its master's time, it conquers space. It cows that beautiful trickster, chance, and bides the tyrant, circumstance. Uncrown and fill a servant's place. The human will, that force unseen, the offspring of deathless soul, can hew a way to any goal. The walls of granite intervene. Be not impatient in delay, but wait as one who understands. When spirit rises and commands, the gods are ready to obey. Beautiful. That's a beautiful poem right now. You will be what you will be. Let failure find its false content in that poor word, environment. But spirit scorns it and is free. It masters time, it conquers space. It cows that boastful trickster, chance, and bids the tyrant, circumstance. Uncrown and fill a servant's place. The human will, that force unseen, the offspring of deathless soul, can hew a way to any goal. The walls of granite intervene. Be not impatient in delay, but wait as one who understands. When spirit rises and commands, the gods are ready to obey. Wow. Wow. That's beautiful. And I don't even know what to say about that. But, so anyways, we have finished effects of thought on circumstance. I encourage you all to go back and reread, get a notebook, right? I got a notebook. I'm constantly writing down. I have every paragraph. Now, I'm not saying you have to do what I'm doing. You don't. It's your choice how you want to. Everybody's different. So how you retain things and how you remember or retain is a good word. How you retain things could be different, right? So do what works best for you, and write it down. I find that writing it down is really helpful, because then you can go back and reread it again and again and again and again and again. I probably read my book over, at least once a day, twice a day, and then I do this, So, well, I got my other things to do, so you all have a wonderful day. It's beautiful outside. You're amazing. You're talented. You're beautiful. You're smart. Go through your I ams. I am health. I am wealth. I am calm. I am peace. I am strong. I am funny. Do that every day. Tell yourself that. You have nothing to lose from telling yourself all good things. Right? Nothing to lose from telling yourself all good things. It's easier than you think it is, because you only make something as hard as you want it to be. And you make something as easy as you want it to be. That's your choice. You can either make it hard or you can make it easy. And it's all by what you put here. That's it. Have an amazing day, and I will see you guys on Monday.